Welcome to this recorded webinar on delivery and assessment of the City and Guilds Level 2 Technical Award in Digital Technology. My name is Ken Gaines and I am Technical Advisor for Digital Skills, and I'm joined by my colleague Alison Whittle, who is Technical Advisor for Post 16 and Technical Awards. During this presentation, we will look at the Technical Award basic content, the support and resources that City and Guilds provides to its centre, some suggested delivery models, how the award is assessed, how to mark the assignment, how grading is carried out and what this means for performance tables, and round off with showing you how to access the materials to support your planning and delivery. The Level 2 Technical Award in Digital Technology from City and Guilds conforms to the requirements laid out by the DFE and is a Key Stage 4 qualification of 120 guided learning hours. It has 4 units that are mandatory and will be part of the assessment of the qualification. Although the primary purpose of Key Stage 4 qualifications is to develop understanding of a particular industry, City and Guilds also includes practical activities to help embed the knowledge. The learning content for this qualification covers principles of digital technology, where the learner will go through understanding application software, understanding networks, and understand cyber safety and compliance. Digital technology communications covers understanding of digital communications technology and use of software to communicate digital content. Creative use of digital technology will provide them with an understanding of file formats and their use, communicating information creatively, design, develop and create web pages. And the final unit, collection and use of data, will help them understand data collection methods, data storage and software, planning and implementing databases. Having decided to use the qualification with City and Guilds, you will need to register your learners. This should take place by the end of October and is carried out using our online system called Walled Garden. Your exams office or you should have a username and password to access the system. Once logged on, go to the catalogue, select catalogue again from the second navigation bar and then select City and Guilds. You now need to select the qualification you are registering the learners on, using the qualification code or title. In this case, it would be 5220-20 or Level 2 Technical Award in Digital Technology. Click on the green bar to place the order and then select Named Registrations. You can now add the learner details required for registration, this being first name, last name, date of birth and gender. Once you have added your learners, click Add to Basket and then click on Confirm to complete the order registration process. We do provide a number of guidance documents. The link shows where you can access further details on using the Walled Garden. Now let's have a look at some of the support and resources that City and Guilds can provide. The link shown at the bottom of this slide will take you to the generic technicals resource and support page. We would encourage all centres delivering technical qualifications to read through the documents provided, as they are aimed to help you plan your delivery, help understand the assessment methodology of the technical using the Teaching, Learning and Assessment Guide, help you understand how the assessment is marked, providing guidance for the area carried out in the centre, and the overall moderation process in the Marking and Moderation Guide. There is a welcome pack to take you through setting up for working with City and Guilds and its technical qualifications. And most important, the exam timetable that provides dates for booking exams, synoptic projects, and when they will take place. In addition to generic resources like the technical awards, information for new centres, we also have materials more specific to the qualification being run on its own webpage. When going onto the City and Guilds website, search for 5220 and select the 5220 programme from the list of options provided. Once on the webpage, click on the Documents tab, where you will find a block for Level 2 and Level 3 qualifications. Under the Level 2 block, you will find the Qualification Handbook, general report about the qualification, as well as the Chief Examiner and Principal Moderator's reports. These will show you common mistakes that may have been made and provide guidance on best practice. We also provide sample assignments and sample question papers, as well as now having a number of past assessments used in previous exam periods. When available, the live Synoptic project will be found here as well. It will be password protected so that only tutors have access to it. We also provide an exam guide that shows typical types of questions and some expectation of the way they should be answered, as well as guidance on preparing your learners for the assessment that includes use of command verbs in our tests.
Before we look at some of the delivery models, I think we just need to look at some of the considerations when delivering the technical award, because it will require a holistic approach. That means the full syllabus will need to be taught just the same as in all GCSE exams, where you would teach the whole specification. Exams and tasks are then set from the content in the specification. The main difference is that they are not unitised and not unit assessed. The only evidence that we require is the end test and synoptic assignment, and City and Guilds provide both of these assessments to you. There may be additional evidence that your centres may require in line with the Common Inspection Framework, for example, some formative marking, ongoing tests, and evidence of tracking your progress. The next two slides, we're going to look at some examples of 1- and 2-year delivery programmes. So this slide looks at a possible delivery model over one academic year. So to give you an idea of what that could look like, the idea would be that you would begin your delivery in September, at the beginning of the autumn term, and that would include your induction to the technical award. You would then deliver all of the knowledge, including the practical skills if they're required, until February in the spring term. The synoptic assignment and controlled assessment will be released to centres for tutors in the autumn term in September. And this is to allow the centres to prepare for the assessments and allow for the resources that may be required to deliver this assignment. You would then register your learners for the end test in the first exam window. The dates are on the website, and the first exam series are in February and March. When your learners sit the first exam, the results of that end test will be submitted to your centre by the end of May. That then allows the centre sufficient time to re-enter learners for the theory exam in the second series if you wish to have a resit or those learners need to improve their marks. The second sitting in May or June, the results of that will be released to the centre in August alongside the remaining of the GCSE qualifications for that year for other exam boards. So just to clarify, please be aware that there is no opportunity for a resit for the synoptic assignment in the same academic year. This slide looks at what a 2-year delivery programme could look like. So it's a sample really showing you how to plan your delivery over 2 years. And this is just a suggestion because each centre will have their own models and have their own timetabling. So year 1, you could focus on the delivery of the syllabus. And you could maybe enter your learners for the June or the May-June exam series at the end of year 1. So there's been something to work towards for the whole of that academic year. Then the results of that second exam series in May and June, you will have the results of that in August alongside all other exam boards qualifications for GCSEs, etc. That means when your learners come back and start the second year in September, you then register the synoptic assessment, and that is released to tutors in September of that year. You can then prepare your learners for that synoptic assignment in the February and March in the second year, having had all that knowledge delivered in the first year as well. Now, centres will be able to release their synoptic assignment to learners in February. Now, in this year, the date was February the 4th when synoptic assignments went live. This date will be altered every year and will be available on the website. So all the evidence of synoptic assessment must be submitted in May, and the date again will be on the website. This year it is May the 17th. So with a 2-year delivery, if you have any learners that took the exam in the first year in May and June and were either not successful or you want to improve their grade, you can see in the second year there are other exam opportunities, either in the first exam series, which is February and March, for any retakes, Or you may want to wait for those learners to take the exam later on in the year, which will be the May-June series. Again, the results will be coming into you in August for the May-June series and May for the February-March series. I think it's really important at this point to point out that there is only one chance for a resit. So you can take the exam and have one of those resits. So this does not mean there is three times you can actually sit the exam. It's one exam and one resit in those windows. But as you can see, there is complete flexibility with your delivery models over a 2 and even a 3 year in some case program. We have an excellent exam guide document which is available on our website. This provides lots of valuable information on how to teach your learners the exam vocabulary and the types of answers that will be required by each command verb. You will see some examples on the graphic here, where we're looking at the words list, label and state that possibly would require more short word answer tests, more short word answers rather than the longer in-depth, such as analyse, compare and evaluate. This guide is critical for the success of the theory exam, and as I say, it's the first document really to prepare your learners in how to sit their first theory test. On this slide, we're looking at some key exam dates for the 2018 and 2019 academic year. And this provides a series of dates that are critical for booking on booking windows, which close this year on the 22nd of December for the first exam for the technical award for this year. Centres only have to book assessments in this window if they're actually taking the theory exam in February and March 2019, or are taking the Synoptic in this academic year. Obviously, if you have a 2-year programme, then you'll be looking at the dates that will be published for next year's windows. So please note, if you want to enter your learners for the 2019 theory exam, you will need to book this between the 1st of March and the 27th of April 2019 if you're planning to have theory exams in this 2018-19 academic year. If your learners are doing the Synoptic in the 2019-2020 academic year, then you will need to book that in autumn 2019. There is a document available on the website that provides all of these key dates. This is a visual of a curriculum planner that we produced, really as an exemplar of how to deliver the technical award. We have past examples of a 1-year and a 2-year delivery model. We've looked at some centre feedback for this year, and what we have done is produce an editable version with all of the key dates on. This document is available for you to download, and then you can input your own delivery model within the editable version. This then allows you as a centre to plan your own delivery model, which will be conducive to your timetable.
Now let's take a look at the assessment. City and Guilds has developed its technical qualifications to have only 2 assessments, reducing the assessment and marking burden on centres, which allows more time for teaching and their development. There is a Synoptic practical assignment that will look to assess the range of skills and knowledge developed from the programme, and an externally set theory exam. As you can see, the Synoptic practical assignment contributes 60% to the overall grade, and while it is set by City and Guilds, it's internally marked by yourselves and then moderated by City and Guilds. There is a 12-week window in which the practical assignment can be taken. However, it is only over 20 hours, so you can schedule it as you need during classroom hours. There is a resit opportunity, but it would have to be in the following academic year. The theory exam contributes 40% of the overall grade. It is externally set and externally marked, and in each academic year there are 2 dated opportunities to sit it. However, remember, there is only 1 resit opportunity allowed. So let's look at the assessment in a bit more detail, starting with the external exam. The theory tests are usually 2 hours and 30 minutes in duration. As mentioned, they're set and marked by City and Guilds, and they must be set on set dates and times. This year, that's 9:30 till 12 o'clock on the 5th of March or on the 4th of June. They can be provided as paper or online versions. The appropriate code to use when you are booking these is 020 for the Evolve online test or 520 if you want the paper-based versions. Remember, you will need to book them well in advance as these paper-based will need to be sent to you. They cover critical knowledge, and there is usually 10 to 12 short answer questions to test breadth and depth, and 1 extended response questions. As previously mentioned, it contributes 40% to the overall grade, and it is graded pass, merit and distinction, or fail. Again, remember, 1 resit opportunity only. Of the 5 assessment outcomes that City and Guilds has developed for its technicals, only 3 are tested in the theory exam. The Qualification Handbook shows the weighting for each of these and provides some guidance on specifics for the industry. So the exam will test recollection of knowledge, understanding concepts, theories and processes, and the integrated application of that knowledge and understanding. And on this slide you can see the percentage of mark allocation for each of those areas. Overall, there is a maximum of 80 marks obtainable from the exam, and we provide you with guidance on how many marks come from each unit so that you can see where the emphasis lies. And here you can see not only the number of marks per unit, but the percentage that is attributed in the exam. Again, we urge you to read through the exam guide found on the qualification page to help you prepare your learners appropriately. And here you can see what you would see under the centered documents under the level 2 section of the 5220 page. Now let's look at the Synoptic Assignment. It will test their ability to research and analyse information, as well as make use of their knowledge and practical skills that they have developed. While the centre will mark the assignment, it will go through a moderation process to check quality and standardisation of marking. The assignment can be completed any time during the 12-week window, but it must be done in class and has an actual time of around 20 hours overall. It is graded, fail, pass, merit and distinction. They could achieve a distinction star grade if achieved by a percentage aggregation of learners achieving those top marks. The window this year is from the 5th of February to the 18th of May. And remember, there is a resit opportunity, but it would be in the next academic year. This slide contains more information around the Synoptic Assignment, and I'm just going to pick out a few of the important points. First, this is a controlled assessment that is set by City and Guilds. As mentioned, the window for running this is February to May. You will actually get to see the assessment in September that will allow you to prepare your learning and delivery model. The assessment is password protected, and the password can be found on walled garden under the qualification. You will need to enter the 6-digit qualification code of 5220-20. Again, there's only 1 resit opportunity, and that can only be done in the following year. Learners who fail or underperform can take that opportunity if need be. However, remember, the Synoptic Assignment will be different from year to year. The work should be carried out by the learner alone, and no intervention can be carried out by a tutor for an individual learner. Tutors may run generic product guidance sessions, but these should be limited to ways of working rather than specific from the set assignment. In the design of the projects, City and Guilds has allowed for preparation work, planning time, as well as undertaking the specific tasks. As you will be marking the Synoptic Assignment, it is important to understand the assessment objectives and how they are related to this specific qualification. Here you will see the typical types of evidence that we would expect to be covered during the assignment. We have also provided weighting for each objective to show the importance of each of the outcomes. The URL link at the top will take you to a video that shows you how to work through the marking of an assignment. Once the work is completed, you will need to upload the evidence to the City and Guilds moderation portal. Please note we do not need every learner's work. The Marking and Moderation Guide provides guidance on what is required and how big a sample should be uploaded. Moderation is done remotely. There is no requirement for this qualification that a visit to the centre is needed. The moderation process has 3 possible outcomes. We accept your marking decision. If we do, then there can be no challenge to the grading that is based on your marks for the learner. Adjusted marks is where we feel you have marked harshly or leniently, and we'll adjust them accordingly. And finally, there is the potential for a subject to a full remark where the moderator's mark will be used instead. But feedback on their marking, along with confirmation of the above, will be provided to the centre. So now let's have a look at marking the synoptic assignment itself. I'm going to hand you over to Alison, who will take you through the tutor's responsibilities.
Okay, so just to look at some of the other responsibilities that as a tutor you have for marking the synoptic assignment, you will see there is an URL link there that links you again to some YouTube videos which are really handy to look at how to mark and give you some marking in some great detail. But overall, tutors need to make sure that you have read the Marking and Moderation Guide. You need to comment on the paperwork we provide on the quality of work produced, and you only need to allocate marks, not grades, against each of the assessment objectives. The total marks for each learner are out of a possible 60 marks. You will then submit the marks for your whole cohort. Now, to submit the learner's evidence in the sample, this will depend on your size of the cohort that you deliver to. So, for example, if you have 12 learners or less, we will want to see all 12 learners or all of those marks for those learners if it's the 12 or less. We'd ask you to include a sample for the range of the highest marked learner, the lowest marked learner, and a range somewhere in between. If you have 13 to 100 learners, we would require a sample size of 12. Again, a range from the highest to the lowest and a range in between. If you have between 101 and 200 learners, we require a sample size of 15. Again, the highest, the lowest, and the range in between. And exactly the same for more than 200 learners, the sample size is a maximum of 20, showing a range of learners as well. What is important is that all of the evidence must be uploaded and it must be collated in a logical order and named with the relevant tasks involved. For example, if there are 3 tasks involved in your synoptic assignment, they should be clearly labelled Task 1, Task 2 and Task 3. There is further guidance and information on the Marking and Moderation portal, and there is a range of resources to support you on our website. Just to clarify, this is not visiting moderation, so there will be no visiting moderator. You will just need to submit the marks for your learners. And you will mark the whole of your learners and only submit the sample size on the moderation portal. So just to look at some of the information on the slide, again looking at tutors' responsibilities for marking the synoptic assignment. It is important to think that learners do not have to complete the assignment in one day. So if you have a 4 or 3 hour half-day session with your learners and the assignment tasks are say 15 to 20 hours, that can be 3 consecutive delivery days that you can then carry out your assignment. You need to plan the schedule for the synoptic according to the volume of learners, your timetabling, the physical resources you have available and the tutors that are available for that. The assignments are internally marked by your tutors, but you must use the following forms that City and Guilds provide. That is your candidate record form. You also need to submit evidence to show that your centre has standardised the work exactly the same as you would for internal quality assurance if there is more than 1 marker. We also need a declaration of authenticity form. Should you have a personal interest or you actually know one of your candidates, that must also be declared on the personal interest form, and the practical observation form that must be submitted alongside all of this evidence. So all of these forms will be found under section 3 on the website. Again, there is a link to where you can find this information. As we said, a different assignment is provided each year, but the evidence produced will be internally marked using exactly the same marking grid each year with the same weightings in your assessment objectives to support comparability across the versions.
As previously mentioned, City and Guilds has devised 5 assessment objectives. These are found at the end of the Synoptic project, and you will find them in the sample so that you can see what we are after against each of the band descriptors. Note, band descriptor 1, 2 and 3 are not pass, merit and distinction. They are purely guides for marking based on the evidence that has been provided. Across all of our technicals, the assessment objectives are the same, but for each industry sector, we then provide extra guidance. So here you will see an example of understanding circles around life cycle models, development paradigms, use of data, program workflows, all related to the digital industry. Again, please note, band 1, band 2, band 3 are not pass, merit and distinction. And if your learners are only getting marks in band 1, they are unlikely to pass overall. So as a marking overview, these are the stages you should go through. You need to understand the contextualized examples for the assessment outcomes. And you should consider the whole range across all of the tasks that are provided by your learners. Judge their performance and see into which AO they fit. Use the generic contextualized band descriptors to support your decisions. Consider the group of candidates in each band. Go back to the band descriptors to verify any positioning that you have made on particular learners through the cohort. And then decide on your final marks before you upload them to the moderation portal.
So the next few slides are really about how technical awards are graded and their sort of relationship with performance tables and GCSEs. So assessment and grading. The results of the theory exam and synoptic assignment and overall grade are made available to centres on the walled garden. The overall qualification grade will be calculated based on the aggregation of points that are awarded for the learner's achievements from the theory exam and the synoptic assessment, and these are then converted into grades. The technical awards are graded as fail, pass, merit, distinction, and distinction star is taken midway from the top 10% of learners achieving a distinction. Both assessments, which means the exam and the synoptic assignment, must be achieved at a minimum of a pass before the qualification can be awarded. Unfortunately, there are no compensatory methods allowed, so therefore you have to pass both the theory exam and the synoptic assignment to achieve the qualification. There is no set pass mark published in advance, as this is decided by an expert panel using an awarding process, although you will be able to look at the grade pass boundaries from the previous year, which give an indication of what the pass boundaries would be for this qualification. The contribution of assessments towards the overall grade is set out in each of the qualification handbooks. This slide shows the points awarded against a GCSE qualification. You will see that the technical award only has 4 possible grades instead of a GCSE, which now has 9 possible grades. All technical awards are set at level 2, which is equivalent to GCSE pass grades of 4 to 9 only. So for example, distinction star on your performance tables will be worth 8.5 points. A distinction is worth 7 points, a merit is worth 5.5 points, and a pass is worth 4 points. Ofqual may adjust or alter these grades in line with any alterations to GCSE grading or where a formula may be applied to allocate the percentage of learners who can be awarded a distinction star. So just to explain this slide, discounting codes apply where a qualification is considered to have significant overlap in content to another qualification. In this case, a discount code may be applied. This means that although the learner can achieve both qualifications and be awarded certificates for similar qualifications, only one of these qualifications will count in your school's or college's performance tables. There is a link to this document showing all the discount codes, which is available on the Department for Education website and is uploaded and changed yearly. This slide provides links to all of the relevant DFE documents required for information on Progress 8 and performance points. You will see there that all City and Guilds technical awards will count in the Key Stage 4 performance tables from 2018 onwards, and this includes the 2020 performance tables. So this next section is where to find the resource and supports available to you. This slide shows you a screenshot of where you can find all these resources. They are all free to download and provide information to help with your delivery, teaching and assessments. There is a dedicated section for Key Stage 4, as you will see on the right side of your screen, and resources and support available for teaching and learning, curriculum plans, help with Maths and English support, and all of your online teaching and support resources.
In addition to the generic information provided for City and Guilds technicals, there is also the specific information for each qualification. On the 5220 page under Level 2, you will find assessment materials and centre documents, including the examiner's reports for previous years and qualification reports. You will also find the exam guide and the handbook with all the information about the technical award itself. Under the assessment materials, you will find sample test papers and projects, as well as past papers. And remember, this is also where you will find the live Synoptic Assignment once it has been released. Our technicals and moderation support team can provide further advice and guidance if you need it, either by using the email address shown or the phone number. The moderation team is available Monday to Friday 9 to 5, and they can support you with where to find documents, general queries around technical qualifications, timelines for registrations, bookings and exams, technical qualification approval, moderation timelines, and support and guidance with the moderation portal. As technical advisor, I can help you with understanding the qualification content and its requirements, onboarding to help your tutors prepare for curriculum delivery, as well as criteria around key assessment and exam preparation. I can also help with timelines for registration and bookings if required, as well as industry-specific technical queries. And I can be contacted through the email address shown. Thank you for viewing this webinar, which we have used to help you with onboarding for the Technical Award in Digital Technology at Level 2.